found a big tree which lay felled in the ground, and close by the trunk something was jumping backwards and forwards in the grass, but they could not make out what it was. When they came nearer, they saw a dwarf with an old withered face and snow white beard a yard long. The end of the beard was caught in the crevice of the tree, and the little fellow was jumping backwards and forwards like a dog tied to a rope and did not know what to do. He glared at the girls with his very red eyes and cried, "Why do you stand there? Can you not come here and help me?" "What are you about there, little man?" asked Rose Red. "You stupid prying goose," answered the dwarf. "I was going to split the tree to get a little wood for cooking. The little bit of food that one of us wants to get burned indirectly with thick logs. We don't need to swallow so much as you coarse, greedy folk." I had just driven the wedge safely in, and everything was going as I wished. But the wretched wood was too smooth and suddenly sprang asunder, and the tree closed so quickly that I could not pull out my beautiful white beard. So now it's tied in, and I cannot get away, and the silly, sleek, milky-faced things log. Ah, how hideous are you! The children tried very hard, but they could not pull the beard out. It was caught too fast. "I'll run and fetch someone," said Rose Red. "You senseless goose," snarled the dwarf. "Why should you fetch someone? You are already too many for me, and can you not think of something better?" "Don't be impudent," said Snow White. "I will help you," and she pulled her scissors out of her pocket and cut off the end of the beard. As soon as the dwarf felt himself free, he laid hold of a pig which lay amongst the roots and the tree, and which was full of gold, and lifted it up, grumbling to himself, "Uncouth people, to cut off a piece of my fine beard. Bad luck to you." And then he swung the bag up in his back and went out and went off without even once looking at the children. Some time after that, Snow White and Rose Red went to catch a dish of fish. As they came near the brook, they saw something like a large grasshopper jumping towards the water as if it were going to leap in. They ran to it and found it was the dwarf. "Where are you going?" said Rose Red. "You certainly don't want to go into the water." "I'm not such a fool," cried the dwarf. "Don't you see that the accursed fish wants to pull me in?" The little man had been sitting there, fishing, and unluckily the wind had twisted his beard with the finishing line just in a big fish pit, and the feeble creature had not strength to pull it out. The fish kept the upper hand and pulled the dwarf towards him. He held on to all the reeds and rushes, but it was of little good. He was forced to follow the movements of the fish, and was in urgent danger of being dragged into the water. The girls came just in time. They held him fast and tried to free his beard from the line, but all in vain. Beard and line were entangled fast together. Nothing was left but to bring out the scissors and cut the beard, whereby a small part of it was lost. When the dwarf saw that, he screamed out, "Is that silver you toad-school that disfigure one's face? Was it not enough to clip off the end of my beard? Now you have a cut of the best part of it. I cannot let myself be seen by my people. I wish you had been made to run the soles of your shoes." Then he took out the sack of pills which lay in the rushes, and without saying a word more he dragged it away and disappeared behind a stone. It happened that soon afterwards the mother sent the two children to the town to buy needles and thread, and laces and ribbons. The road led him across a heath up in which huge pieces of rock lay strewn here and there. Now they noticed a large bird hovering in the air, flying slowly round and round above them. It sank lower and lower, and at least settled near a rock not far off. Directly afterwards they heard a loud, piteous cry. They ran up and saw with horror the eagle, and seized the old acquaintance. The dwarf was going to carry him off. The children, full of pity and sounds, took tight hold of the little man and pulled against the eagle so long that at least he let his booty go. As soon as the dwarf had recovered from his first fright, he cried with his shrill voice, "Could you not have done it more carefully? You dragged at my brown coat so that it is all of thorn and full of holes, you helpless, clumsy creatures." Then he took up a sack full of precious stones and slipped away again under the rock into his hole. The girls, who by this time were unused to this thanklessness, went on their way and did their business in the town. As they crossed the heath again on their way home, they surprised the dwarf, who had emptied out his bag of precious stones in the clean spot, and had not thought that anyone would come there so late. The evening sun shone upon the brilliant stones. They glittered and sparkled with all colors so beautiful that the children stood still and looked at them. "Why do you stand gaping there?" and cried the dwarf, and his ashen grey face became copper-side with rage. He was going on with his bad words when a loud growling was heard, and a black bear came trotting towards them out of the forest. The dwarf sprang up in a fright, but he could not get us to cave, for the bear was already close. Then in the dread of his heart he cried, "Dear Mr. Bear, spare me, I will give you all my treasures. Look, the beautiful jewels lying here. Grant me life. What do you want with such a slender little fellow as I? You would not fell me between your teeth. Come, take these two wicked girls. They are tender morsels for you, fat as young girls. For mercy's sake, eat them." The bear took no heed of his words, but gave the wicked creature a single blow with his paw, and he did not move again. The girls had run away, but the bear called to them, Snow White and Rose Red, "Do not be afraid. Wait, I will come to you. Wait, I will come with you." Then they knew his voice and waited, and when he came up to them, suddenly his buckskin fell off, and he stood there, a handsome man, clothed all in gold. "I am a king's son," he said, and I was bewitched